Hi, everybody. Welcome to the podcast this week. This is the Power Within weekly podcast that focuses on all of the benefits that hypnosis provides. So each week I'm bringing on a special guest from either within Ireland or further afield to talk about all of the great services that we provide, and in so many ways that hypnosis can help so many of you out there. My name is Trevor Evers. I'm your host, and this week I have a very special guest. His name is Andrew Arbuthnot, and he's the founder of Right Mind Hypnotherapy and Coaching. He's based in Bangor, County Down, so the opposite end of the country from where I am. I'm in Waterford City here. And he's serving the people of Northern Ireland, both in person and online. He specializes in anxiety, stress, and pain management as well. And he's also involved in corporate work for the same issues and for sales and wellness training. So, Andrew, you're very welcome on the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to this.
Great stuff. Now, just gone through a brief synopsis of your bio there. Is there anything else that you would like to add to what I've just said?
Not really. It's literally hypnosis. And basically, I'll give you a little bit of a background to me and a little bit about why I started the business. So I have always been interested in, well, firstly, it was primarily NLP that got me interested because I worked in sales for many, many years in the corporate world, and they brought in NLP trainers and they did things like that. I've always been a fan of Darren Brown. And earlier on in my life, I was involved in an incident that literally changed my life. Not an incident. It was like something happened where it was like, it changed my life slightly. And I ended up needing some help. And I instantly thought, right, what do I do here? You go to the doctor and they say, right, well, we're going to give, long story short, I ended up quite badly depressed. I have a condition where my back is fusing. So it literally causes me quite a lot of pain. When it started, I was probably really 22. And my way of dealing with it was to drink an awful lot. So it was like that was there. Got in a lot of bother, got to a point where I really wasn't in a happy place. So went to the doctor, and the doctor wanted to give me a load of pills. And having been lucky enough to know friends who were involved in this sort of arena and wellness and things like that, they always said to me, don't take drugs, go do this. And I got involved with hypnotherapy, and it really helped me. Now, as a result of that, I continued. I didn't think I could ever do this, as I'm sure I'm not alone in ever thinking that, we all have limiting beliefs in some way or another. But with this, I then just continued on doing the corporate work that I still do and have done for many years. And then just something about 4 years ago, I just decided, you know what, stuff it. Let's do this. And I did a couple of courses and I learned some stuff. And then, lockdown was a great time because I was able to just really immerse myself in the process. And then I just thought, you know what, 2021, let's go do this. And I set up a business, and generally I help a lot of people with anxiety and stress and pain management. The pain management is a big one for me because obviously I have issues with that myself. So does my wife. And, it's one of those things where people don't realize if you're in pain, pain is perceived, and you can reduce that perception. And pain is important because it alerts us to something that is wrong. Having said that, you can reduce that pain quite easily. I work with a couple of charities, one of them being Versus Arthritis, the other being this one, which is has my beautiful face on the front. Yeah, that copy didn't make much. So it's one of those ones where I do a lot with that, and it's basically the same, that one in particular. And the reason why I did that was it's basically how hypnotherapy helped me is the title of the article,
right?
And it's in relation to pain management and how you can reduce it. And it's something that I do quite a lot with, and I'm quite passionate about.
Right.
I also use a couple of techniques that I find great crossover with for pain and anxiety, because it's the same sort of arena, so to speak.
Yeah.
And
And
as a
I know
result,
pain management is something that, you know, is very interesting area. So just playing devil's advocate, if
yeah,
I'm somebody that um, I'm experiencing pain in my body, and I don't know, I've not really heard about hypnosis or hypnotherapy and how it can help me. Would you like to discuss that further and talk a little bit about how hypnosis can help with pain?
yes. So basically, very, very simply, it's like what a lot of people talk about. It's like, if the person is not at threshold, there's actually no point in having a further conversation. So I always do offer a free consultation to people, especially if they're a little bit skeptical. Having the conversation where I can say, personally, this is how it has helped me and this is what I do. If you're open to it and you're prepared to do exactly what I say, go through the process with me, we can help. If someone is completely skeptical and they think I'm going to literally click my fingers and they're going to be better, I don't proceed. It's one of those things where the person really has to just have enough, be at the point where they just want rid, and can go to a place where we can make the changes together. And generally with pain management, I'll always have a conversation with people, and I will do a couple of things where I'll go, yes, I can help you quite easily. You know, if someone's particularly more hypnotizable than someone else, shall we say, if you want to go down that route, it's just something that I do as a quick thing. Not everyone believes in that, I get that, but it's one of those things where, for me, a conversation will always occur where I'll have the chat to say, look, if you're having this now, it's more for chronic pain that I do stuff with, something that's there all the time,
Sure.
you know.
Sure. Just on the specifics of, you know, I suppose how hypnosis can help with pain management. This is one of the things that comes to mind, is that complete body anesthesia can be induced when, you know, our clients are in the hypnotic state. Isn't that true?
Yep.
And like some of the things, you know, sometimes blow me away still. For example, you know, all of the operations that are carried out all over the world on people without general anesthetic, and that they're just guided into the hypnotic state where they can't feel any pain.
Yep.
And you know, that's some quite serious operations, isn't there? And
Yeah.
when I relay that information to people, sometimes they kind of can't believe it, that it's too good to be true almost, isn't it? The power of hypnosis.
Yeah. And the power of the mind, yeah.
Yeah.
And it is, you know, and it's interesting, the fact that some people are so skeptical. Like I'm looking across the street, and there's a lady across the street, her very best friend. She had this situation where, from 40 years ago, she had this reaction that if she got hot, or if she got overexerted herself or something like that, she would get this itching in her whole body that would then turn into huge welting rash that would literally come up in huge hives and boils. And then within about 10 minutes, she would be vomiting violently.
Right.
And within 2 sessions, I took that away. I say I took that away. We did it together. But it's one of those things. Her whole thing was, she had a belief system of, I don't want this anymore, and you're going to help me. And she just bought into it. Now, the lady across the road was like, oh God, I need to come for this, that, and the other. But she was coming in with, and I literally just was like, nah. She came in with the wrong sort of, she was just very, very skeptical and a little afraid. And that's the thing that I want to get across to people as well, is there are so many myths around hypnosis that it's, you know, a loss of control or a loss of awareness, that you're doing something to someone simply because, yes, we can make someone cluck like a chicken, bark like a dog, howl like a wolf, whatever it is, you know. But there's also, those are the powers for evil. But there's also the power for good, where in actual fact, as long as you're going into it in the right frame of mind and with the right attitude, there's so much you can do with your own mind. And it's just, we haven't tapped into half of it yet, you know. But that's a specialism that I really enjoy, is something where you can have someone come in a situation feeling pretty damn low and coming out changed,
Yeah.
and not enough people know about it. That's the thing. Not enough people are aware of it. It's not mainstream enough.
Have you come across as well? I mean, I do frequently come across where like some of my clients to come in to see me for a particular type of pain, but it ends up being like another issue,
Always.
a traumatic event previously that may have happened the previous weeks, months, maybe all the way back from
Always.
when they were a little child.
Yeah.
And like that's where, I feel the power of hypnosis can come in, where we can help our clients release all that toxic negative emotions, that weight that can cause pain. It can definitely intensify it.
Yeah.
No,
I agree. And that's the thing. I know Carl Smith has mentioned it a few times, the issue is never the issue. I do agree with that to an extent. It's whenever you come in, and well, to an extent, it's probably most of the time, someone comes in and they say, oh, well, this, you and I talked about this. It's like, now we do that emotional detox thing where we just clear all the crap out of the way, first of all, and release something where it can actually, it's like a domino effect. You take away the biggest issue, they all just seem to tip away. And sometimes people don't know what the issue is. So, it's important to do all that stuff, a more holistic approach, I suppose.
Yeah. And when it comes to pain as well, like a lot of it is to do with expectancy, and experience. And so if, once we help our clients to change their mentality and give them that knowledge of how the actual process of pain works, that when you pinch, and I'm pinching the back of my hand here, there's a signal sent from here to my brain. And it's how my brain filters that message, isn't it? And it's the output from that.
The way that I do it mostly is, and I might get if this is more for the hypnotists amongst us, but it's like the one thing that I find most effective for reduction of pain, especially with chronic pain, is a control room technique. Because you can then literally, they dial down the pain, their unconscious mind dials it down to a point where it can just back off. Sure. And then you can sort of get that to settle. That's something that I find very, very fascinating, because then it's under their control. And they've made the decision to bring it down to a point where, sometimes, especially with chronic pain, let's say for an arthritic pain, something like that, it's mostly unlikely that it will go away completely. But if you can reduce, let's say someone experiences pain at a 9 out of 10, 10 being absolutely god awful, but you can bring it down to a 4, that's 50% better. So all of a sudden, that's an improvement. And who's to say you can't actually improve upon that again?
Absolutely. And is there any types of particular pain that your clients experience, like when they come to see you, for example? Would they be suffering from arthritis or like different ailments, or is there any ones that you focus in particular, or is it just a general pain management approach?
Well, generally pain management approach, but at the same time, I do work a lot with, people with arthritis, people with, lupus is one I do an awful lot with.
Right.
What do you call it? Fibromyalgia as well, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
That is one that I see a lot of people with, because it's something that, well, fibromyalgia is a bit different now because it's being recognized as an actual illness. For years, it was like, some people poo-pooed it, and I think that's terribly unfair. But, the likes of lupus, or the likes of fibromyalgia, where it's literally god awful pain, it's people their lives are ruined. It's being able to help someone in that capacity is very rewarding, and it's something that, more and more people are coming to me, and the likes of doing things like, that's one thing I would say is that, working with charity groups in doing stuff. I started off by doing stuff for free with them to sort of say, look, I can do this. Look, let me help. I suffer with this myself. I have had help with it. Let me show you what I do. And gradually that's sort of been raising awareness for that sort of community, where people can go, do you know what? I'm fed up taking X amount of pills a day. I'm fed. And I would never advocate someone stop their pills or their medication. I will not do that. But, if they feel that they get relief, where they might be able to change their life a little bit, that's important. That's good,
Yeah. And how do you feel, the perception, the perspective of the general public is at the moment. Like, I mean, in terms of the help that we provide with pain management, because unfortunately it can be, as you know, a last resort, isn't it, for people when they give us a call.
It's strange, you know. There are more and more people becoming more accepting of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the more of this type of stuff that we can do, where we can make it more mainstream, the better it is for everybody. Because, you know, I've done CBT, didn't really work for me. It's one of those things where, and really, that's where people are pushed. You know, if they don't want to take an antidepressant, they're put into cognitive behavioral therapy, which can go on and on and on and not really get anywhere. If it was able to get more towards us, we can do something quickly. Like, really, there are people. I had an email not that long ago where I was I was involved with the devil and all sorts of stuff, and, you know, like, I was like,
Right.
really? Okay, I don't know how you work that one out, but okay. And it was like email after email of just vitriol, and I'm like, right, okay. And yet there are people that you meet and go, oh, I didn't know you did that. Yes, it's becoming more and more accepted, which is great. You know, it's not so much of a fringe thing anymore, but do you know what I mean? So
I do know what you mean, but I do feel as though like there's more work that we can do as a community of hypnotherapists to like get the knowledge out to and reach, you know, these like whether it be doctors or rheumatologists, and the message that we can help in so many ways when it comes to pain management and other things. Because, like, you know, as you know as well, like if somebody comes for one specific thing like pain management, they're going to benefit in so many other ways, aren't they? Like, they're going to be, their confidence is going to increase. They're going to be experiencing a reduction in stress and anxiety, and just feeling better about themselves and within themselves.
And you made a very good point a minute ago, was that, you know, a lot of the time pain is amplified because of a mindset. You know, if you have someone who feels like they're sick, feels like they're a victim, feels like whatever, and I don't mean this in any way as a slight, but it's one of those things. If someone has this mindset that has been created over years and years and years of just being beaten down by pain, if you can take away all that negativity, all of a sudden the pain becomes less anyway, you know, because emotional is feeding the physical a lot of the time.
Sure.
So, you know, that's the way I look at it.
Absolutely. And you mentioned already, I mean, it's like a scale, really, isn't it? And I do use like the scale of comfort. And like if my clients are experiencing, say, like discomfort up high up in that scale, as you said, up 9 or 10, like it's definitely something that, you know, we can bring that discomfort level down and towards zero. Maybe not zero, but definitely, as you said, down to a 4 or maybe even a 3 or a 2 or a 1.
Yeah, you know, if it's a 10 and it's down to a 4, there's a 60% reduction, which is bloody good.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the things that I'm quite passionate about is and I've spoken to Kenny about this as well, is that, you know, getting into the corporate side of things with anxiety and pain and things like that is, you know, people don't realize that this is a very effective way of doing it. And if you can get into businesses where you can come and talk to people and spread the word, you know, it's brilliant, you know. Because we do need to get more and more word out there that we can help people, and, you know, people should be willing to entertain us as a very, very well established professional practice.
Absolutely. And, you know, just one eye in the time there, Andy.
Yes.
I know like the time has flown already today. And so just to, I suppose, bring the podcast for today to a conclusion, is there anything else that you would like to add? I mean, in terms of like what you are all about in your business and, you know, the message that you want to give out here today.
Well, really, anybody who's struggling or anyone who's got serious anxiety or pain, first thing you can always do is have a conversation. You know, reach out to your local hypnotherapist. You know, one of the guys who's on this group, reach out to me, reach out to you, you know, have a conversation. It all starts with a conversation. The best thing you can do is do something rather than nothing. And get in touch with someone, have a conversation, and start the ball rolling. If you're at the point where you literally don't want to take this shit anymore, we can help you, you know, very, 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 very easily.
And it comes across from not only, I mean, I've known you now for a while.
Yeah.
No, you've had these experiences, a lot of experiences in your own life that, you know, you've walked the walk and talked the talk about a lot of this stuff. So, you know, I know that you're definitely somebody that can resonate and relate to a lot of the issues that your clients bring as well.
Yeah.
You know,
definitely.
so.
And that's something that I find is very beneficial as well, in that, you know, if someone goes, if you can have a conversation with someone on their level and meet the client where they're at, you know, that's a long way going in the right direction, you know, to getting the results that they want and we want ultimately, you know. So,
yeah. And also, I mean, isn't it like true to say that like hypnosis is an empowering you know, process, and it's, you know, our clients are only going to benefit. Like no one has ever gone back from using hypnosis, only forward, and only.
That's the thing. I agree. I had a GP come to me because she was horrendous and literally couldn't give herself over to it because she was terrified. And I'm like, she openly said, this is coming from my background. You know, they all think of what we do as a little bit fringe or woo-woo, but in actual fact, the science, you know, if you look at what is it David Spiegel has done in Stanford, all the stuff that those guys do, the science behind it is incredible, you know.
You shouldn't have made her bark like a dog or look like a chicken. That was probably where you went wrong with it.
Well, do you know what? Yeah. Indeed, it is.
But but I mean, that's the power of hypnosis. We've had this conversation as well. You know, it's something that like we're embracing more and more, that, the stage is one thing, it's entertainment. And I personally enjoy that. I have a lot of time for stage hypnosis, hypnotist, and we can all learn from each other. And, you know, the bottom line is whether it's stage hypnosis or if it's in a therapy setting, you know, it's something to be enjoyed and it's something to empower you and change, allow you to change yourself in so many beneficial and helpful ways. Absolutely. But, Andrew, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you here today. And thank you very much for coming on. Really appreciate it. You've been a great guest.
Thanks for having me. But no, I really appreciate you having me on. I've really enjoyed it. And it's like since we did that the hypnotherapy conference, you know, we've made just many good new friends, and it's such a lovely community, and everybody, you know, across the island of Ireland, across the world, should just really look into hypnotherapy and the likes of us guys who can help them in any way they can, you know.
Great stuff. Andrew, and is there anything you would like to leave? Any websites, email addresses, the contact details?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Andrew. I'm the founder of Right Mind Hypnotherapy and Coaching. So the website is www.ofrightmind.com. You can get me at andrew@ofrightmind.com.
Great stuff. Andrew, it's been a pleasure. And keep up the great work. You're doing amazing work up there. I know about 200 miles away up the country, but hopefully I'll get up to you one of these months. But
well, we'll see you soon.
Yeah, I'll see you next month. Actually, I'm going up to Ken's in Larne, and so that'll be a good one. So I'm looking forward to that.
Me too.
But so Andrew, I'll leave you go, and so you're very welcome back on the show again. I mean, this is something that I'm going to be running hopefully for the foreseeable future, and we'll have you back on again. It's been great having you on. Anytime. So thanks very much, folks. That's it for this week. I'm your host, Trevor Evers, and until next time, be good to yourselves, and we'll see you next time on The Power Within. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.